Hello friends, now today we are going to see what is the meaning of sinking and sourcing concept in PLC. Whenever we want to choose the type of input or output module for a system, it is very important to have the understanding of sinking and sourcing concepts. Okay. So, in these diagrams, you can see the sinking input, sinking output, then sourcing input, sourcing output, and the combined diagram of showing all these four, that is sinking input, sinking output, sourcing input, and sourcing output. Actually, the sinking means it provides a path to supply common, that is minus, and the sourcing provides a path to supply source plus. While referring to these diagrams, you might have noticed that in these diagrams all these are associated with only DC circuits and not AC, because of the reference to positive and negative polarities. Therefore, sinking and sourcing terminology will apply only to DC input and output circuits. Input and output points that are sinking or sourcing can conduct current in one direction only. The meaning of this is that it is possible to connect the external supply and the field device to the input output point, and if the current is flowing in the wrong direction, then the circuit will not operate. However, the supply and the field device can be connected every time based on an understanding of sourcing and sinking. Okay. Actually, the sink and source, both these terms refer to the direction of current flow between an input output point on an input output module and the connected device. It is only relevant for DC circuits with positive and negative polarities, since the current flows in both directions in an AC circuit, as you all know. While choosing the type of input or output module for your PLC system, it is very important to have the understanding of sinking and sourcing concept. Input and output points that are sinking or sourcing can conduct current in one direction only. Now, in the sinking input, to properly connect the external supply, it must be connected so the input provides a path to supply common, that is negative. So, start at the PLC input terminal, follow through the input sensing socket, then exit at the common terminal and connect the supply minus negative, that is to the common terminal. By adding the switch between the supply positive and the input, the circuit is completed and the current will flow in the direction of the arrow when the switch is closed. Okay. Also, I can say in detail that in and sinking input, in order to connect properly the external supply, it must be connected such that the input provides a path to supply common, that is negative. Okay. So always start at the PLC input terminal and then follow through the input sensing circuit and then exit at the common terminal and then connect the supply, that is negative, to the common terminal. Got it? So by adding the switch between the supply positive and the input, the circuit will be completed. Okay. So by applying the circuit principles to all the 4 possible combinations of input, output, sinking and sourcing types, there are 4 types of circuits. The 4 types of circuits, and the 4 types of circuits are nothing but sinking input, sinking output, sourcing input, sourcing output, and the last one is the combined, showing both the sinking input, sinking output, sourcing input as well as sourcing output. The common terminal in all this, the common terminal is the terminal which will serve as the common return path for all input output points. So sink source input output circuits combine both sinking and sourcing capabilities. The meaning of this is that the input output circuit in the PLC will allow the current to flow in either direction as shown in the figures. The common terminal connects to one polarity and the input output connects to the other polarity through the field device, and this provides the flexibility in making connections to the power supply in the field. Only one thing, the care should be taken that all the input output points should be wired or shared with as a common point for both sinking or sourcing. And the main, again the important point which should be noted is that do not use an AC power supply on a DC sink source input output point. I hope you might have understood the concept of sinking and sourcing. Keep studying. Thank you.